What's popular, YouTube? Another day, another demo. Every single day I record these, I always wait a little pause at the beginning of the video to make sure that the whole line gets in. But every single day it gets cut off a little bit more differently every single time. I swear, it feels like I'm waiting infinite amounts of time, and yet it always gets cut off. I think yesterday we barely fit what's popular in there, but hopefully it's all in today. I've waited so long. I waited like 10 seconds before I started the video to make sure that the whole thing would get in there. Guys, welcome in for a hype episode of Coach Lau. Okay, of Coach Lau, the videos here. This one, we're going to be watching a video on the player known as m0NESY. And if anybody disagrees, then consider this a pre-ratio because I verified it with Twitch chat. I verified it with YouTube videos. I verified it by listening to someone talking to m0NESY. And I made sure that that's how you say it. It's not m0NESY. It's not m0NESY. It's not m0NESY. It's m0NESY. Fuck. Hold on. m0NESY. It's m0NESY. And I might mess it up, but it will be with the best intentions. I've tried to make sure that I said it properly every single time. And it's obviously quite difficult when everybody has a different way to try to spell it out for you. Right? Now I understand when you go to dictionary.com and it shows the word and then it shows the phonetic translate, like the phonetic, it shows like it has the weird way of writing it with all the little, like it shows like the most obvious way you would pronounce it on the, you know what I'm saying? Under the word, like it have like the word and then it have like the most phonetic, like if English was remade so that everything could be spelled out phonetically that way, that's written underneath the word that you're looking for on dictionary.com, if you know what I mean. So today we're here to watch a video on m0NESY, a very highly rated tier 2 player, a highly not revered yet, maybe, a highly, like, somebody who's been, people have been waiting to see, people want this guy on Na'Vi, okay? If Simple wasn't on Na'Vi, m0NESY might get a spot. And I heard him and Simple hang out sometimes. So, Perfecto hit the DMs, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm just kidding. So, they're all good, though. The thing is, I'm joking, because Perfecto's nuts now. They're all fragging. They're winning. #1 team in the world. Not scared of Gambit anymore. Not really there's no room here. There's no like need for m0NESY to come onto the team. So I don't know if they're gonna have, you know? So Carlos, if you're looking for you need a fifth, you need an upper. Jax hit the DM, you know, I'm just kidding. If anybody needs an upper, m0NESY's probably at top of the list, but Na'Vi have him on the junior team. Do they want to sign him away? I don't know. Let's get into the news. Sad day. Heroic released a statement regarding HUNDEN. Flashbang. With reference to the statement, Heroic's head coach Nikolai HUNDEN Peterson released on July 28th, Heroic believes it is appropriate to clarify the following. Prior to IM Cologne in early July, the Heroic team unanimously decided that Mr. Peterson would not participate in the tournament due to severe trust issues. Like Drake level? Following this, Mr. Peterson blocked the team members' access to the team strategy folder. Investigations revealed that Mr. Peterson had shared confidential and sensitive information from our strategy folder with a key individual at a major competition prior to the event. This was done without the knowledge of anyone at Heroic and would obviously not have been approved. And obviously, there's no way we would have approved that. Heroic considers this a clear breach of Mr. Peterson's contract. A legal process is ongoing in Denmark. 2 courts have independently found sufficient grounds for evidence collection, which has been carried out. Legal. The issue has been reported to ESL and ESIC. Mr. Peterson's contract has been terminated at Heroic. The Heroic team is shocked by NESY's actions and deeply saddened by the way he has let his teammates down, especially given the difficult decision we took to give him a second chance after the coach bug suspension. We didn't really care that much then. We still had him on the team, but this is the final straw. His actions go against everything we stand for at Heroic. In order to preserve the integrity of the sport in the eyes of the fans and everyone involved, it has to be made absolutely clear that such behavior is unacceptable, and we will have severe consequences. We are sorry that the relationship with NESY ended in this way, and we will not make further comments at this stage due to the sensitive nature of the case. Wow. Why do we have we don't have the, there are problems. CSGO is a great game. Nothing beats the consistency of the drama we get, though, huh? There always has to be some. Yes, it's the back-to-back with Hunden, but within 10 months, Hunden. But there's always got to be something, right? Let's go to his Twitter here before we start talking about this. Regarding recent rumors, this came out, I think, before this tweet here. Yes. Well, this is his breakup letter. Love Heroic. Next. Recent rumors claim that I have shared Heroic's strat book. This I can categorically deny. I have the biggest respect for Heroic, and I would never want to harm the team or in any way affect them negatively. The material I have shared, however, is anti-strat material. I mean, it's just anti-strat material of opponents. This material was shared with the colleagues from some other teams in the context of sparring. Knowledge sharing is essential for me as a coach in respect to staying in the loop and developing. And at no point at no point in time has Heroic's own tactics been shared or discussed. Okay. This is what he said, and then Heroic launched this bomb. And this is crazy because this is actually citing, and I don't want to block this with my camera, this is actually citing that legal action is potentially being taken against Hunden, which is insane. And of course, in Denmark, esports is a very real thing. So there is actually, it's actually a world where this might, get seen through. And it's not just Heroic blowing smoke. It's not just the song and dance. This is kind of very serious. And I mean, dude, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Nothing has changed in the sense of, what the accusation is and what has happened, but I don't know what to make of this. What I wonder, right, is what is the incentive for Hunden to discuss anti-stratting material? And he says it's not that bad. It's it's no big deal, but obviously it was a big deal. What is the incentive for him to discuss sensitive material that the team has with other potential competition? That's the question I have, really. I would like to know the truth about that. How sensitive was this material? And I have one more tweet, actually, to add some further context for the uninitiated. This one is because they said they handed this over to ESL and to ESIC to investigate. So 7 hours ago, regarding Hunden/Heroic, ESIC notified us ahead of IEM Cologne that Heroic had found Hunden had shared a folder with information with a person at a team also competing in the tournament. Upon receiving this notification, we started the investigation. During this investigation, our conclusive findings were that while permissions to access a shared folder were sent out, the folder was not accessed by the recipient in any way. Consequently, there's obviously, if this is like Google Doc, which is the big meme today with every org tweeting out Google Docs, if there's a Google Doc and whatever, you can see, who was on the doc, and you can get all the info about who has seen it, who has shared, and all of that stuff. Of course, this doesn't rule out the ability to screenshot the document and send it over to people. There are plenty of plenty of methods that Hunden could have used to disseminate information privately, secretly, incognito. Completely. But that doesn't really matter, I guess, for this, because it's been proven by Heroic to them, or I don't know. In the context of IEM Cologne, it was not necessary to determine whether the information itself was sharing was punishable offense. This instead would be part of an ongoing investigation by ESIC and potentially the subject of legal proceedings. This is the very serious part. I mean, what the hell, man? I just want, for Hunden, man, you just didn't need this right now. I don't know what, I can't see a world where Hunden is able to, figure this out. But, I mean, if it gets settled in court in his favor, then there's that, of course. But, I'm not about to be an armchair lawyer and try to figure out what is possible or not. I'm not your guy. I don't know. For me, and these tweets, of course, always remember this is ESL tweeting about ESL problems. They're trying not to overstep and just talking about Cologne specifically when it came to the investigation and what they did. But they're not the judge, jury, and executioner like some of the comments what about this? What about this? They don't care about that. They're just talking about how it pertained to IEM Cologne, the integrity of their event specifically, and all that. So at least there's this to add some context. But in terms of what he did, I mean, the part that weirds me out a little bit is the anti-strat stuff. That is still obviously, if it's clearly a problem, it should have felt like a problem. And then, of course, it's how did this get out, right? How did this get out there? Who got their hands on this, that this was a big issue? Did he try to send it? People are oh, he tried to send it to Astralis. And I would just like to say that this would be the dumbest way for Hunden to try to get onto Astralis, right? There's probably some old adage about if you date someone that cheated to date you, that they'll probably cheat on you in the future, right? That this is kind of the same idea that would you trust somebody to come on to be your coach if there's the idea that one day they might turn around and leak your strats or sensitive information to another team that they try to leave for. It doesn't actually help your image to do that, even if you're doing it to the team that you're trying to get on. So the idea that he must have sent it to Astralis doesn't make sense to me. But that doesn't mean he didn't do that. And it also doesn't mean that what Heroic is saying is just a cold hard. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the full context on exactly what happened. And of course, Hunden doesn't have the best record right now. But I feel like I'm not getting full context personally from Heroic's tweet. So I'm sitting here waiting. Obviously not a great situation. Just pure hour-wise, I mean, I feel like even if Hunden wasn't trying to use this to get onto Astralis or any specific team, his odds of being able to get onto Astralis with the idea that Zonic might leave have probably also lessened. I mean, it was probably already far-fetched to think Hunden was going to be able to get on Astralis when they are such a big brand in Denmark, and a lot of people are not so happy with Hunden even past the coach, even though he served his sentence as it were with the coach bug. People are not quite happy with him in Denmark, so that's not a good PR move potentially for Heroic, for Astralis, who are already in a weird spot where they're trying to salvage a potential disaster with maybe Zonic leaving. They got Glaive in place, but other players, new AWPer. Too many questions for them, I feel like, for them to want to do this. But Hunden obviously can help your team win. That's a big thing. But they're clean. There seemed to be, just on that, there seemed to be a little bit of animosity between, I think it was Nikolai Nyholm tweeting about Heroic's players, how they must have known that Hunden had used the coach bug, and that there was some animosity towards Hunden, towards Heroic at the time. I don't think that's water under the bridge, personally, but they are businesses trying to make money. So sometimes you can see past stuff like that. But again, PR actually matters so much. We work in entertainment, by the way. Remember that. Your favorite athletes that you love so much, they're throwing the old pigskin across the field, playing the best sport in the world, running back and forth across the field. That's all they do. they're the best at working out, and then they throw the pigskin for the touchdowns, running back and forth across the field. You need feet to win in football. Just wanted to point that out. Okay, now we're going to watch the demo of...
В силу того, что Илья находится в Москве, а мы как бы в другом культурном городе, поэтому мы решили позвонить...
Known as...
Поэтому мы решили позвонить, мы как бы Илья находится в m0NESY. В силу того...
m0NESY, yes. The match is... why we're watching this is because... I mean, look at this. Do you have eyes? This is unbelievable. This kid's like 10 years old, man. This is crazy. 16 years old. And people are like, oh, these teams are dog. It's like, dude, he went 30-5, man. It wouldn't be 16-3 if he didn't go 30-5. We're going to watch this because the highest rating. After this, everyone was like, gotta watch m0NESY. You know, gotta watch m0NESY. I think it's going to be one of those frag movies demos. We'll see. But we haven't done a Vertigo demo. I've watched a little bit of the WePlay talent. WePlay. Dude, my brain is not working that well. You know what I did earlier? I went and got takeout curry a couple days ago. And then I took the curry was actually really good. It was actually better than the stuff I make at home. And I've got my stuff better than the other stuff I bought in takeout in Toronto. But I tried a new place that had really good reviews, and it actually was better than my curry, and I'm really sad. But what I did was I ate their curry, and then I kept the sauce at the bottom, and then I just threw some chicken thighs in the oven earlier and put the sauce on top of it, and then I thought I got a little sick, but because I kept the sauce for a couple of days. But I think I actually just got in my own head. I'm fine. It's like how if you're sick these days, you have COVID. You know what I mean? Like other illnesses have just disappeared. Like you can't get anything else anymore. It's kind of like that. Anyways, 30-5. We gotta watch it. We'll see what happens. The golden 30. No, it doesn't really roll off the tongue. I don't know what I'm gonna call this video. I'm curious to know. I'm curious to know about the future of what I will call this video, because obviously there's a lot of ways you can go with this. You know, YouTube would love the clickbait of 2.52 map rating. Next simple 30-5 versus Furia. Leave out the academy. You know, there's so many things we could do. I have this downloaded. We're gonna watch the whole thing because it's only 19 rounds. You ready? Talk about some Vertigo CT side opping. 1280 by 960. Oh, last thing. The elephant in the room. This is the reverse side of the Apex background that I had probably in a video in the past, because I'm casting Apex Arenas this weekend. So this is just the backside of it. Let's watch. I didn't watch this game. I didn't watch many of the games. I saw him play Ancient yesterday, I think it was. And I saw how convivial the desk was that they weren't watching Vertigo one more time. But if you've been watching the WePlay Academy League, then you have probably seen a lot of Vertigo games. So I feel for you if you're going to have to watch them again. But of course, as always, we are here to watch it on m0NESY's res with X-ray off, and to really see how insane these shots were. And I noticed when I watched him play on Ancient that his time to kill was very low. He basically didn't miss any hard shots, and everything was almost so... he never really got pushed into a bad spot, because anytime he saw someone, they basically died. That was it. So we'll start off with a scout, and then I'm sure there will be a couple of op rounds. He doesn't die too many times. That's 1 of 5 deaths that we're going to see in this game already. All right, so this is the... Wow, he pushes directly through the art smoke. So they smoke down a ramp on the CT side, and then m0NESY runs through the art smoke, which lands right there in front of yellow, and it's supposed to stop people from taking that peek. But of course... I talk about this constantly, but in 2021 CS, you always have to do a little bit extra to get your kills. And even though that art smoke was working really well for a little bit with how often it was being thrown to stop people from peeking short, you can disrespect it with a ramp smoke, a flash, and catch a timing, and also kill a guy who's jumping up yellow. It really locks down the early part of the round for the CT side. And what's important about that is when you have what I would call checkmate grenades. Grenades that have to be respected some way. Even if you throw them every single round, you still completely remove a whole tool from the T arsenal, right? Like rushing a ramp is basically just really, really hard to do well if you see it at all anymore versus a good team. And so with that, it just makes the whole map a lot more comfortable on the CT side, especially if you, let's say you can't rush A. Ooh, well, he doesn't see anything but a bullet in between the eyes. But let's say in a situation where the other team can't rush A or feels very uncomfortable or they lose most of the time because of the specific nades you're throwing or the control you get, then you can't go B early either, right? If you can't rush A, I say can't with this asterisk by emphasizing it because you can obviously still do it. You can run through the ramp smoke. You can try your hand at it. But let's say you have, like, mentally you can't rush A. Like a Sean O'Malley mentally you can't rush A. You know, you could, but you can't. Then you can't really rush B either, right? Because if you and the other team both think that no A rushes will happen, then it should be too scary to rush B. Because then the CTs can be overstacked on that side of the map. That's why it's really important, even if you're using the same utility every round in certain spots on maps, to keep going with that pattern, to keep it going. To use the same nades over and over again. Conditioning. I try to say all of this without saying the word conditioning. Conditioning is such a big part of Counter-Strike. This is a nice push. I think he might have waited to hear for the flash to throw that they threw, and then just jump through. And I think there's a player, yeah, right down below him. We can see him on m0NESY's radar. And again, we're watching the POV demo. So you can see that the radar information is exactly what he sees or his team sees. Little leg there shown by two players. I think he got all three, actually, yeah. And I'm excited to move forward into the AWP rounds and see what it looks like when m0NESY is trying to control space on the A ramp. I saw there were a couple of highlight packages from him. I don't remember what rounds they were on, and I only saw the kills themselves. So I'm curious how he gets into those positions and what it looks like when he's trying to stop any of the A ramp control. And if we see Furia try to get aggressive on the A ramp despite the fact that they're using some of these nades, but okay, this time he goes over towards B for the deep pick. Doesn't see anything. And it's becoming very hard these days to get away with some early aggression. And that's also the difference between Vertigo in pugs versus in matches. Because in pugs, you can rush both sides of the map pretty easily. I'd say A is easier than B. So CTs have to throw a couple of more grenades. But over on B, you can find timings. And on A, you can do it a lot. But in professional matches where it's a lot more sweaty, I think the map changes quite drastically, actually. So, all right, here's an opening pick. This is what we call the crane pick, of course. And I think a big thing here with this pick, just as a small detail, I normally don't go over mechanics or very, very small things like peaks. But there's something specific about this crane peak that everyone should know, that if you peek like this, if you peek too deep, you can miss someone easily. So you kind of have to mentally choose if you want to go for a very deep pick, if you think they're going to go slow. If you think they're going to go very fast, then they can run up the wall in the sandbags. And so your timing window is very short here. So we'll see if a shot comes on. And jumping up onto the short self on m0NESY's left, on the left side of his scope, that's something where people go on defaults a lot too. So if they do that, then you want to do a very shallow peek. But you have to decide, do I want to go for the deep pick? Do I want to go for that pick, or do I want to go down the sandbag? Don't just kind of clear everything. Make a judgment call in your mind, because you have a very small window here, but it's a very powerful pick. So just like make a choice and commit that way. But I guarantee you, if you go for the deep pick every time and this guy's jumping up short shelf, you're going to miss out on free kills often. So sometimes it's better to not cast too wide of a net and just go for like a deady shot that way. And then just listen instead, right? If they're running up the ramp, you'll be able to hear them if you're standing up there. So you don't need to hear them running up the sand, or you don't need to see them running up the sandbags. You can hear them. And so that's what we're going to also pay attention towards, because that's just a, whoa, okay. Whoa, oh my God. That was like 6 in a row. Holy smokes. Must have gone to Pasha's gaming school. B-hops. Easy next frag. Round 6. Another pick. Okay, let's pay attention and see what kind of pick he does. And then how he clears out. See? Oh my god! What the hell? Don't shoot at this guy. Especially if you can't see him. Wow. Okay, so that was the pick exactly. It was different from the last time where he did a deeper clear. This time, he picks for the short shelf. It's a shallow pick. And then he moves over to see afterwards. But you see him actively make that decision. Now he's looking for someone to try to lurk up the sandbags. But they've already established presence. They get a kill on the ramp. They have the smoke down as well. Teammates are doing fantastic. And Furia have 2 of 5 rounds that they win in the whole game. 3, actually, maybe they only win 3 rounds, sorry. Let's see how the retake goes. This nade is for generate. Oh, that nade is for drop. Maybe he is the truth, guys. I thought we were just going to see a bunch of easy op kills on wide swinging players with no flashes, but he is making this very hard for Furia. That's not a good plant, but they probably they have no okay. Yeah. They just tried, I guess they just tried to get the bomb down. So part of the thing with getting the bomb down on the B site is because everybody has these nades that they're throwing from heaven on the retake, and it's too open and too easy that you're trying to look for new ways to plant. And so sometimes you see an off plant like that. I'm thinking they probably have a spam lined up for it. Dolphin peek in the B main. m0NESY parting shot, just in case. Why not? They already know he's there. And now we're paying attention to the rotation. When you make presence and you don't get that tactic, I love to watch what oppers do in that position. And let's see if they approach him again from this spot or not. A lot of presence towards A with the flash on mid. He'll leave that to his teammates and say, hey, there was one mid or a flash or a peek. You take care of that. And now we're going to set up in this position. Full kit of utility here. So I'm looking for the Molotov on the plant, but at the same time, he has an op. So, yeah, he's going to preemptively throw that. Here's the other thing, guys. If you think the plant is coming, throw the Molotov. Don't wait until you hear the tap, then pull out the Molotov, then throw it. Because when it lands, they're going to be done planting. Nice shot. Very fast. All he saw was a couple of Jordans, and that's Ninja's dead. Bad smoke on the side of the bomb. I'm not sure if that was a CT smoke or not. Still a quick, good shot here. And now we're cooling. And I'm feeling pretty good about the thought that he might have canceled that plant by throwing the Molotov down preemptively. Also, there's an important thing. If the molly or the incendiary lasts about half as much time as the smoke. So if let's say the T's come up to the A site, they throw their smokes down. If you can buy 7 seconds by spamming getting a kill, you don't hear anything coming up, they're taking too much time, then you throw the incendiary down for the second half of the smoke, then your incendiary is gone and the smokes are gone as well, and then there's no clear plant. So that can even be a trigger for you to be able to know when you should use your incendiary, even if it's preemptive. That's a really easy marker that you can throw in basically any map on any game. If you're just like, oh, I don't know when I should use this, but I don't want to use it too late. Halfway through a smoke, that's a perfect time. That'll be very effective. And it forces someone to have to refresh a smoke, which people just don't normally have. Or do something else. Wide swing. Now, of course, we never want to get to a position where we're always rotating. Because if you're always rotating, you might guarantee you'll eventually see someone, but you're never going to be in that sick, deep angle that beats the flash, that hears the audible. So at a certain point in a round, you really do want to have teammates you can rely upon to help you establish some space and then get into your favorite spot, chill for a second, try to get that kill, and then move out. Oh my god, the awareness. They must have called that for him. I don't think he was able to even hear that, but they're just getting decimated. He doesn't even have to be the focal point of the round at any one time. A new pick, yes. So this is to counter somebody who tries to pick over the big box in the back. And what's more important than this specific pick is always going to be finding a new pick. Do you know what I'm saying? What order you do the picks in can sometimes do with the team that you're playing against and who you're, you know, what you're used to. That's officially m0NESY's first miss of the game, I think. But what's more important than the specific pick that you do is changing it up. You're not going to guarantee anything by doing a specific pick on a specific round and then changing it in a specific way every single time. There's no perfect cycle. It just comes more down to the psychology. What do you think they're going to be prepared for when you go there again? Are you going to be doing the same thing twice? Sometimes can you do the same thing twice? Oh, chaos drop over the smoke. And he doesn't see anyone on the default. This is a good position to hold for a second. I like how he is finding some gaps. He's going a little bit out there. Oh, he saw a head right there. It's right behind the big box. Wait, am I crazy? I think I saw it on the demo. He could have left, but maybe I'm crazy and I saw one of the stairs or something like that. But oh, crazy. That was okay. That was quick. And nice clean rotation out up the stairs, keeping focus as well and moving fast. I mean, they're not going to. I feel like Vertigo's still at the point that you wouldn't expect someone to necessarily need to be up here and be up there this quickly, especially with the AWP, but down to just 2. They're trying to catch him off guard. It's not working. Second shot missed by m0NESY. He's missing more shots than he's hitting. Less shots than he's hitting. If we had a counter for both. I think he's literally only missed 2 shots, maybe 3. We don't count the wall banks. New pick. Oh! Oh! Oh, the flash. That was like 70 degrees. And it's like 70 Celsius in here. You know what I'm saying? That was wick. Oh. On the Jormungandr. Re-peek with the AWP. Sprays haven't been oh no, they're getting decimated. Oh, holy hell. He's got 4. Very explosive. And this is the, I guess this has got to be the piece de resistance of the map. But leading up to this, I've seen a lot of good stuff, man. We saw some good utility usage, some clean rotations, fast shots, but then nice movement as well. I didn't expect it to be this good, I won't lie to you. I thought it was going to be more of a frag movie, a lot too full of easy shots. But honestly, I think we've seen some very, I'm not going to lie to you. When I do these demo reviews, there's so much less to talk about when it's just nice shots, right? It's always more fun when there's all the other stuff. The team play aspect is what makes these demo reviews much better. But this has exceeded expectations. Yeah, I think. Really good. And honestly, the only problem with a game like this, of course, when it's this steep of a win and the confidence is so high, you get a bit lazy, you know? You can get away with doing the same thing over and over again. You can have such a dominant round, the next round might not even be a call, you know. At 10-2, I think it's not just that it's 10-2, it's that it's 10-2 and he just got that ridiculous 4K and he basically hasn't missed and he basically hasn't died. Right back to it. Looking for the rotation. This is actually something Simple does a lot, where one thing that I always thought was really good about the watching Simple demos was he always found a way to find a little bit of high ground. Whether it was over top of smokes, which has become the most meta thing ever. You know, watch Alexi B look over top of every single smoke that he can find. Simple has been doing that for a very, very long time. And it's even in little tiny instances where he has like some angle, he can hop up on something small to get a small height advantage, just to get a little bit more vision, to be in an off angle, and etc. And seeing m0NESY do this as well, which is nice. I think that's a nice small detail that I think we see a lot of stronger AWPers doing, or paying attention to at least, even though it's a small thing. I guess nothing is small at this level, right? You cannot have outstanding performances playing standard. That's just it. That's the real mystery. That's why we watch these demos, right? Like, it's not about, we all know what a perfect game looks like, but it's about the little bit extra that we're looking for to figure out what makes the difference between a 1.0 rating and the 1.25, the 1.50, and in this case a 2.50. For me, mentally, I feel like this game is basically done for Furia. We see the variety of picks again that I was pointing out, and it looks like whenever he goes for that short shelf peek, the shallow peek, he looks for the lurk. It's very common to crouch off the corner of the smoke. You'll see a lot of teams do this. They haven't tried it versus him just yet. And probably a good idea because he has been quite aware of that potential threat. So he throws a flash for himself. He frags, he supports, he does it all. No one there over the box. No one dares to challenge him so far. And things cooled down. It's actually 5v4 here for Furia, which makes things interesting. Another situation where it's interesting to watch how AWPers rotate when it's 5v4 in their favor, when it's 5v4 against, because you see different levels of risks being taken. If it's 4v5, you might be encouraged to make a play you wouldn't make in a 5v5 or a 5v4 in your favor. And all you have to do is watch to see what the favorite tendencies are. Always good to go for a little bit of a jiggle if somebody's out in the open. If somebody's out in the open and you jiggle and they shoot, you're going to make that the biggest regret of their day. And it's very nice to get someone to commit to a gunfight, because then their gun's hot, and then they don't know if they need to burst again, and then they also stand still. So it locks your opponent down if you get a nice jiggle. That's why jiggling is important in CS in general. But that's just one example of why. It's important for a lot of reasons, actually. So that's just a blind pick. A lot of great flashes here from Furia. And they have been using some utility, right? He's had moments where he has been flashed off his angle. I'm not going to... I think people had a very low opinion of Furia. They've lost a lot of their games, but I haven't seen terrible utility usage from them. There have been some dry kills, but... And there's a insane shot from Ninjas to trade that back. Maybe 4 out of 5 of m0NESY's deaths in this round. And a standard round towards A. They put a ton of pressure on him. They get rid of him first, I guess, and it's Furia's best chance to be able to win a round, but... Spoiler, I think this retake is going to be successful. And let me just say, it is a strugglesome game for Furia, so asterisk on this point. But Vertigo has become less about getting the bomb, getting into the post plant, and then going through a spray battle, right? I will say, to Vertigo's defense, it has evolved a bit, and now a lot of the fights are happening deep onto the ramp. The default is happening there. Lots of great spots for the CTs to stand to fight. CTs have found better perfect nades and easier peaks to fight down the ramp, so it's harder to rush, which takes some of the wind out of the T sails and also removes like less of these situations. But it wouldn't be Vertigo unless it happened once in a while. So here we have the diffuse inside the smoke, and it's success. Perfect. That's such a Vertigo moment. The half is wrapped. We move on to the T side. And we'll see a little bit about a T side here. Just 4 rounds. Sorry for the spoilers. T side Vertigo also one of the more interesting sides to watch, in my opinion, for different players and defaults. I would say it's very individualistic. Like, it is very open for one individual to take a fight to try to open up a site. I guess A site a little bit less than B. B is about these lurky plays up the ramp because it's so wide open. But even on the A site sometimes. And now we'll have it. Okay, Furia, or sorry, Navi Jr. wait. They get, is it Navi Jr.? It's Navi Jr. wait. They throw a very standard exec here, and they get the bomb down on the site. And they get a kill as well. And my God, there was a Sandbags player all along who didn't dare peek, and he regretted it when he did. Retake potentially coming in, but it looks like A ramp will be stopped. m0NESY gets the kill, 13-3. Standard stuff. And another thing I mentioned before, but people said it's okay if I repeat some stuff. Use old material. Is... Oh! Okay, is... Oh! Are we just watching an Overwatch, or... You can't shoot if you have a gun on the other side of a smoke. Don't bother. He's got a simple-ish crosshair. He's got a simple-ish crosshair. It's not style 5, but oh, it's stylish. Will be another one. I think this at this point, I think at this point he's really just having some fun, you know? Let me try to get 30 kills. Okay, he's just farming. That's too easy. Maybe let's see if we can talk about establishing control here. They throw the flash to counter any kind of push that comes off a crane or on the ramp or around. It doesn't go too hard in case they go above. Okay, now let's see. They establish grenades. And it's at this point in the round where it gets very T-favored, even though they already got 2 kills. That makes it easy. They might have just run up, actually, so... I don't want to overanalyze this position because the pure amount of kills. And there it is. I think his 5th death. m0NESY goes down. Gods can bleed. And finally an AWP. It would have been actually cool to watch another T-side AWP round and see what it looks like from his perspective when he's working the ramp. And like his style here is just very reactive. He's not standing behind the box. He's more out in the open, which gives him more opportunities to definitely see someone. But also, he's cycling between 3 positions, which means he has a higher chance of dying. But that is kind of 2021, like super high level talent, you know, type CS, where you're aiming between 2 angles instead of just at one because they're so good now. Everyone's just living inside of, you know, aim labs and Kovacs and YPracks that they can guarantee the flick these days. You know what I'm saying? Guarantee the flick. Last round of the game. 2 kills. Is this 29 or 30? It looks like that was 30 on the nose. Sick match. That was nasty from m0NESY. I won't lie. One of the nuttier performances we've watched on this channel. Can we agree? I didn't have my expectations that high for this player because of the level of competition he was playing, and also because the demo, I thought it wasn't going to be full of like really good movements and nades and you know, important gap at taking advantage of important gaps and stuff like that. But I think he's got it. He's got it for sure. That's good stuff. We'll have to follow up with him. Honestly, that was pretty cool. This won't be. We probably won't watch another m0NESY demo on this channel for a minute because we want to just make sure we give a lot of perspectives a chance here. But a couple other people on the... If you have other people from the WePlay Academy that you want me to watch, let me know. The only other one I have lined up in my mind is m0NESY. But there are some great players in a lot of these teams that I think we want to take a look at. And, of course, go ahead and watch the tournament as well, WePlay. It's a $100,000 event for these Academy teams, which is great. Some of these teams are ranked well above 100, but they're going to have an edge because they have, you know, potential access to coaching staff. They have the ability to, you know, mingle with some of the other better teams, and they're also picked as players who have a lot of potential. Might not have shown it yet in any sense, but yeah, there's we're gonna watch some more, and maybe another T-side Vertigo game. I want to do another m0NESY match, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. That was a sick match. That was really cool. Delivered. That was good. m0NESY, one for the future. Hope you enjoyed that. Take care.